Hey guys, good morning. It is Tuesday morning here in sunny San Diego. It is approximately about 6:40. I have to be at work by 8, so I've got to do my face real quick. I just took a shower. I got up with the girls about 4:30, took them both out. So let's do some real talk this morning. So come on back. See you in a minute. Okay guys, so I thought while I was doing my makeup, we could do some real talk about real things going on. So, I am currently looking for a full-time position. I have been struggling for quite a while to kind of lock down a full-time job. And it's been heavy on my heart. I've been, I felt like every door seems to close. Does anybody else have that situation? And I am now 53 years old, and I feel like a lot of this is affected by my age, and it's very mind-crushing because I'm not a bad worker. I'm actually a very good worker. I'm very determined. I have a lot of heart, and I work in the healthcare, so I have a lot of feelings for my patients. A lot of, while I'm in the healthcare is kind of personal. My uncle got sick with cancer back in 1999, and that's when I originally started getting to the healthcare field because he had throat cancer. They had to keep rebuilding that screen for his radiation if the tumor got bigger or smaller, just to make sure it fit properly for the radiation. And so there was one time that I flew into Maine, because that's where he lived, to see him. He was actually in the hospital for a part of his treatment. And when he came back to his room, he seemed really discouraged, really frustrated. My uncle, he's kind of like a hard butt. Thinks he's tougher than nails, even though he's really not. He's like a softy. He always used to say, "I will kick your butt all over town." To all of us kids. But, he was really struggling. I don't know, it was probably more the fact that he had cancer than the fact that what was said to him. But he told us that the person that had to rebuild his screen for his neck was kind of aggressive, kind of mean, kind of fast, kind of rough with him, I want to say. And so I got really, really angry. And my sister and I both wanted to talk to somebody about how they made him feel, because we were really upset. But he didn't want us to, because he said that if we did, that they could take it out on him later, which, in reality, it's true, because they feel like he's being kind of, I don't know. He just felt like they would take it out on him. So we chose not to do that. We just chose to keep it to ourselves, even though it was very upsetting to both of us. And when I got back home after this trip, I had always had a passion for the medical field, but that even intensified it even longer. So my husband helped me get involved into this medical assistant school because nursing was going to take a very, very, very long time. And I felt like being old, I didn't have the time. And then, I'm not very good with math, so you have to be great with math. And so I really struggled with that aspect. So I became a medical assistant. And through the externship, I just did not with peds or oncology. And gosh darn it, where do you think they sent us? They sent me specifically. Thankfully, not peds, but they did send me to oncology. So I worked at Oncology Associates through my externship. I had a lot of great mentors over there. One of the girls was just sweet as can be. And then I worked in the lab. I worked in the infusion part, checking patients in. I worked in the clinical area. I just got a lot of experience, which was great. And then I got hired there full time after my externship, which was wonderful. I was really excited because I thought, hey, they must really like me. But I really wanted more. I wanted to work in a place that paid more money because I started out at like $9 an hour. And I thought I deserved more because I worked in the medical field. So then I heard about UCSD and that they start people out at $16 an hour. But anyways, I applied and I got in to UCSD as a medical assistant in the multi-specialty clinic. So I worked there. I worked my way up. I became the lead medical assistant. And wouldn't you know, I started July 18th, and because they're union-based, they were due for a raise or a step-up period in the beginning of August. So I got a raise like immediately, even though I barely did anything. And then I became a lead medical assistant, which I got a big jump on my pay for that. But I worked for this wonderful, crazy orthopedic oncologist. She was very sporadic, had a lot on her mind, left her things everywhere, and we became really attached. And so she was having issues with her admin assistant keeping it because she's just so sporadic. She forget things and stuff like that. So she asked me if I'd be willing to becoming her admin assistant. And I said, yeah, because I'd been working for her for so many years. I was already her medical assistant. So I was her admin assistant, and I left the lead medical assistant job. So as I became her admin assistant, she was still special. But I loved her to death. She was very nice in the long run. She had a big heart. Obviously, she was a doctor, so she had to have a big heart. And so then she decided she was going to move to Scripps. So she was leaving us at UCSD, which was very hard. And then we had this PA. Her name was Christina. She's amazing. She's just the best. And so I supported her for a long time until we got a new doctor. And then this great, wonderful Navy doctor came in to help support the clinic while we were looking for another doctor. His name was Dr. Flint. And he's just the best. He's so funny, so nice. And he volunteered his services. He wasn't even being paid, poor guy. And then, you always have to pay for your parking at UCSD. And they actually charged him to park his car, even though he was volunteering. So I really advocated to get him a parking pass because I thought, at least you can do is pay for the man's parking. He's doing surgery on our patients. And then we were blessed with Dr. Frank Sharapa. And it was great. He came in. He took the reins. He did such wonderful work. Him and I had a great work relationship. And then I decided I was going to be retiring in 2023 because my husband and I were going to move to Samoa. And so we looked forward to doing that. I put in my resignation for my retirement. I took out my lump sum. And then we didn't go to Samoa because life happens, situations happen. We were having trouble with some of the kids. We didn't feel it was a good time for us to leave. So we stayed. And so now I'm looking for a full-time job, but I can't go back to UCSD because I retired and I took the lump sum. So I've been really struggling at this age to find a full-time job with benefits. Right now, I currently work at a temporary agency. They've been very nice and graceful and everything. And I currently work at a dermatology office through them. And I have the greatest girls I work with. They are awesome. They just took me in under their wing, and it was great. And so now I'm trying to get in there as a full-time employer. And it's very difficult because they don't post a lot of jobs because the way they do things is that the internal people get shots at the jobs first because they feel seniority is the best way to do things with their employees, which is good, which is good. But I feel like me working for them, even though I work through a temporary agency, I should be allowed to also apply, but I'm just external at this time. So I've been trying to get in there, and I've been going through job interviews after job interviews after job interviews, and I really feel I'm struggling because a lot of the people are looking for people that are going to be there for long term. And I am more, you know, I have like 10 years left of my, 10 to 14 years left of my career per se, with like a 20-year-old coming in has like 30 years that they can give the company if they choose to. So I've been really struggling with my age. And I have so much knowledge that I feel like that should not really be a factor, but it is. So tell me, are you guys struggling with the same thing? Do you guys have issues with your age? Do you feel like you're being passed aside because you're older? Because it is hard. It's not a nice feeling to think that because you're older and you can't, it's not that you can't do the job and you don't have the education, it's that you're not going to be given the same opportunities because there's other younger candidates that are willing to just come in at a lower rate, you know, which is true. So that's what I'm struggling with today. It's been really on my mind. So please let me know in the comments. Are you guys struggling with with those kind of things? Do you get passed over because of your age? It's very difficult. It's very, very, very difficult. But I'd love to hear any suggestions that you guys might have to give me to make me feel more confident, because it's sometimes a big blow, a very big blow. But anyways, it is Talk About It Tuesday, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Give blessings out there, and be thankful for everything we have, because tomorrow isn't promised. Thank you so much. And I appreciate being with you guys today. Have a wonderful day. Bye.